trained to think that's radical. But if Jesus Christ is ruling over the affairs of men, when that happens, how do you think it's going to be? Think God's going to play favorites? You're going to say, look, you're willing to work? Then you're worthy. You're born with a silver spoon in your mouth because God says so. Your owner, your parents, the creator. And that's the way it is. That's a paradigm we all got to get ready for. It's coming. So as radical as things I say are, they're really not radical in terms of logic and reason in the mind of God, because things do make sense from his standpoint, through his eyes. That's what he wants for us all. How else can you be free? How else can everybody feel safe and secure and prosperous? It's the only way. Got to get rid of the money masters of misery. The one thing our illegitimate satanic overlords, that is the grand puppeteers, fear more than anything else, is that humanity will collectively realize and acknowledge the fact and act accordingly to, alas, free ourselves from this vile stranglehold they've had on humanity for thousands of years. Yeah, they don't want us to be empowered with logic and reason, knowing how to do the math, knowing how to define progress. Whatever the diametric opposite of an elitist is, that's precisely what I want to be. An indisputable correlation between the lack of true freedom, fear, insecurity, and pseudo-reverence to an ungodly God. That is the God of this world. That is money. Satan's ambrosia. That's where his power comes from. That's his ambrosia, right? Absence of fear and insecurity are essential components of real freedom and true happiness. Is anyone so stupid, so foolish to believe that they, quote, don't have any existential interest in making sure the public at large remains evil by default, by deceit, by constructive confusion and ignorance? I sure hope not. Remember, that's their very existence, existential, right? So yeah, they've got a grave interest in keeping this trajectory going. If people ever find out the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and they're empowered with that knowledge, they're going to put their foot down. And they're not going to tolerate this tyranny, not for themselves and not for other people, not for the least of men. When you're really in your right mind, that's what you're going to see through God's eyes. You're going to see through Jesus' eyes. The biggest problem for the evil geniuses at this point in human history is that they're being roundly exposed in this computer age, the internet age, of not being nearly as genius as the righteous. The righteous are far smarter. Remember, the righteous are interested in saving their soul more than they are about gaining worldly wealth, temporal, possessions and all this crap. So, yeah, who's smarter? You end up in Hades? How smart were you? You put too much stock? You were overly invested in this scene, man? Like the Laodiceans? You think you're rich and well-heeled? Don't you know you're wretched and blind and naked and needy? Sell your crap, buy from God with knowledge of truth. The whole truth, nothing but the truth. Accept the spirit of truth into your life. Repent. Be somebody. Not as defined by the world. Be somebody as defined by God, your creator, your owner. If a metaphorical nut keeps getting harder and harder to crack, at some point, everyone in their right mind, anyone in their right mind, will give up on trying to crack it. This is what I mean, so don't accept this Overton window and just work harder and harder and harder and you'll find success. That's what they want you to prescribe to. That's social Darwinian economics. Just keep raising the bar higher and higher and higher and higher until what? Until you're broken. So you just want to beat your head against the wall, cut off your nose to spite your face, shoot yourself in the foot. That's say this is the answer to everything. Just capitulate to the social Darwinian atmosphere, economics, and just, accept the nut getting harder. Find new innovative ways to crack that nut. Get out there, work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, do what you have to. I don't buy that crap, man. I say you almost better give up, man. Stop, smell the roses. Quit. If you can't pull a rabbit out of the hat or you're disincentivized to do so, because you're so turned off by a rigged game. I get it. You're a misfit. That's good. You must hate your life in this world, like Jesus said. You're on the right track, man, if you don't fit into this scene. Don't buy that attitude. Don't buy that work hard crap. I don't buy that crap. It's just work harder and harder, just get hyper competitive. We're losing more and more jobs to automation. So we're beat your head again. Just do what I tell you. Work harder. Well, even though there's no work, let's say everybody wants to be a professional football player. That's my shtick, man. That's my thing. I'm not happy if we're not doing that. Or an actor or a rapper. Can everybody do that? What if we were all doing it? You understand? It's all lies from the pit of hell. Don't buy it. You've been trained. You've been inculcated. You've been indoctrinated. You've been brainwashed. You've been conditioned. You've been programmed by these evil people. I believe that's the answer. Just because you're successful, you think you're so great. It's because I worked hard. And I'm going to tell you, if you want to be like me, then do like me. It doesn't work like that. Can everybody be a successful radio talk show host? A successful movie maker? What the hell? It doesn't make sense. Be logical and reasonable. If the nut keeps getting harder, if you're in your right mind, eventually you're going to give up. You're going to seek for easier nuts somewhere. And that's what I'm telling people. Okay? Adversity makes men. Prosperity makes monsters. Where's that in your philosophy? In your definition of prosperity and success and fortune and all this crap? Work hard. Define what work hard means. The farm worker not working hard? And if he works harder, you think he's going to be prosperous? You think he's going to be the next billionaire, next Bill Gates? What are you talking about? Long hours? What if there's no work? What if you're trying to share the market share of work that's around? You say, well, I don't want to hog it all. This guy needs more work. He's got 8 hours a week. He needs 16. So if I'm taking 60 hours a week, I'm going to exalt myself, say I'm so great because I work so hard. Well, I deny this guy that's too passive, not as aggressive as me. Scenario. You're looking for the cause of all the metaphorically dead bodies that keep showing up in your section of the river. Initially, you just feel sad and or angry that people kept falling in the river or killing themselves by drowning. So you blame the dead people. Then when you reach the spot there, as you go to the spot they are entering the river, you discover that these poor dead folks weren't killing themselves or falling in the river. Rather, you discover they're being pushed into the river, that even the people pushing were themselves being pushed, and so on and on. And then you seek the final cause, the source of wanton death by deliberation. And that's it. Who's at the top of this thing? I've already told you over and over who's causing these problems. These hypocrites, these elitists, they're all on the highway to hell. I'm telling you. They're just make our lives miserable when they don't have to be. I've learned to root for every person. Is that wrong? To be every man's friend? To say if you're evil even, I say stop being evil, man. Repent or perish. You're going to hell. I think I'm a friend to everybody. And if you're a nice guy, I'm going to be your friend, man. I'm going to be a nice guy back. Is it okay if I feel righted, even entitled to being treated with as much regard and respect as I am willing to afford others? Maybe I am wrong. I don't know. But it'd be nice to be able to get that kind of respect. If you offer others respect, it'd be nice to get it back, but that's not always the case. And you can't be a snowflake. We have to grow skin. Many are those whom erroneously, though firmly believe their self-interests are existentially at stake, were they to embrace the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Why? Because we have been trained, manipulated to believe as such. That's right. So if the worth of your house goes down, you say, that's a bad thing for me. No, did you ever consider that maybe you could just save money and buy another house more easily without even taking out a loan? Think about those things. It came to me recently that not only would I trust, I already talked about this, how I trust over 90% of American people because they were against that bailout of 2008. So I trust them to run the Federal Reserve, the most powerful entity on earth. Of course, it is true that we are all unequal in many ways, Though when it comes to basic God-given foundational fundamental rights and entitlements, we must strive to achieve equality for all. However, when it came to basic God-given, I didn't finish this paragraph. Sorry, folks. We are living in a wildly unprecedented time